Gotta do way past cool. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, I am Littlefoot. Back again with another video, but this one right here is an informative video. I found this video that was talking about the scents and the smells that witches have, aromas and all that type of stuff. The one that stood out to me was with the hair. For the ladies that's out there going to these salons, make sure y'all take your hair with y'all. Cause something just telling me that these women that be doing these salons that be doing hair, they probably be taking your hair and burning it and doing all these weird stuff, as well as other things that y'all gonna hear about. But y'all, I got y'all, yo. I got y'all. Gotta make sure I keep y'all prepped, man. Keep y'all in tune and keep y'all going on the right path. So listen, that'll do it, past school. It's your boy Littlefoot, man. I got this video I want y'all to check out, man. It's talking about the smells and stuff like that. So y'all can be on point. When y'all smell certain things, y'all be like, yo, that shit smell kind of weird, bro. I heard about that smell. Yeah, y'all know what's up. Yeah, shit is real, man. Shit is real in the field, my baby. But listen, y'all. Word to mother, man. I want y'all to just use y'all discernment and be careful out here in these streets, bro. Things is not exactly what you seem. So I'm always gonna give y'all a heads up, give y'all a little something, to throw in y'all little bag of tricks. But yo, that'll do it, past school. Your boy Wood for signing out. Peace. Peace.
Feel will make your skin crawl and open your eyes to a reality the church refuses to discuss. The enemy has been marking territory right under your nose, and most believers are walking around spiritually deaf, dumb, and blind. You think spiritual warfare is just about binding and loosing? Think again. The devil operates through your 5 senses, and smell is his favorite weapon, because it's the most primitive, the most visceral, the most connected to your survival instincts. I'm about to expose 6 demonic signatures that announce a witch's presence. These aren't just unpleasant odors, these are spiritual calling cards from hell itself. Once you know what to smell for, you'll never walk into a trap again. The enemy leaves his scent like a predator marking territory. And today, I'm teaching you to hunt the hunter. Get ready to smell what the devil's been cooking, because ignorance will no longer be your excuse for defeat. Smell number 1, decaying flesh or rotting meat. The first smell that screams witch presence is unmistakable. Decaying flesh or rotting meat when there's no dead animal anywhere. This isn't food gone bad. This is the smell of spiritual death, and it announces that someone nearby is trafficking with the spirit of murder. John 10:10 declares, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly." This verse perfectly captures what you're smelling. The thief's assignment to kill manifesting through the stench of death itself. Witches who specialize in death magic carry this signature. They work with spirits of murder, suicide, and premature death. When you smell rotting flesh around someone, their assignment is to bring death into your bloodline, your business, your destiny. They've made pacts with spirits of premature death. This putrid stench appears before mysterious deaths, before healthy people suddenly get terminal diagnoses, before accidents that seem too convenient to be coincidental. The witch is releasing the spirit of death, and the smell announces its arrival like a spiritual telegram from hell. I've walked into homes where this odor was so overwhelming that visitors would gag and leave immediately. Families living there reported constant sickness, depression, suicidal thoughts, and a string of deaths that doctors couldn't explain. Medical professionals were baffled, but the spiritual cause was announcing itself through scent. The breakthrough came when we discovered cursed meat, actual animal flesh, hidden in the walls during renovation work. A witch had placed it there during construction, and for 20 years, that family had been breathing death into their lungs daily. The rotting meat was a spiritual antenna broadcasting death frequencies. Some witches bury meat in your yard while cursing your family name. Others hide small pieces of cursed flesh in air vents, behind furniture, or under floorboards. As it decays, it releases both the physical stench and the spiritual assignment to bring death to everyone in that space. I've seen entire neighborhoods where multiple families experienced unusual deaths after a territorial witch moved in. She would bury cursed meat around each property line while calling down spirits of murder. The smell would hit you blocks away, the scent of a graveyard where there should be life. Smell number 2, pungent cat urine or fishy. Note, The second demonic signature is the sharp ammonia burn of cat urine mixed with a fishy undertone that makes your eyes water. This combination reeks of familiar spirits and sexual perversion working together to corrupt and control. Leviticus 19:31 warns us, "Do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God." This cat urine smell is evidence that someone is defiled by familiar spirits, demons masquerading as deceased relatives to gain access and credibility. Cat urine represents familiar spirits, demons that attach to family bloodlines for generations. The fishy smell indicates sexual spirits, particularly those that feed off sexual sin and perversion. Together, they create a spiritual cocktail designed to destroy purity and bind bloodlines in sexual bondage. This nauseating combination appears around people who practice generational witchcraft, witches whose power comes from ancestral covenants. They carry the stench of every demon that's been passed down through their family line for centuries. The ammonia burn is so strong it makes your eyes tear up instantly. I've encountered this smell in homes where people were abused, where pornography addiction was destroying marriages. The witch was feeding sexual demons while summoning ancestral spirits to multiply the destruction across generations. Women have told me they smelled this around certain men right before being sexually assaulted. Your nose is detecting predatory spirits before they strike. It's a supernatural early warning system. The fishy undertone specifically points to Dagon, the fish god associated with sexual perversion and child sacrifice. When you smell cat urine and fish together, you're detecting ancient evil that's been operating for generations. This isn't amateur hour witchcraft. This is old-school demonic nobility. I remember counseling a family where this smell was strongest around the grandfather. Everyone loved him, trusted him, gave him access to the grandchildren. But that ammonia-fish combination was announcing his true spiritual condition. Later, we discovered decades of sexual abuse hidden behind his charming exterior. Familiar spirits use the ammonia signature to mark their territory. They want everyone to know this bloodline belongs to them. The sexual spirits add the fishy component to announce their feeding ground. Together, they create a scent that repels holy people while attracting other perverts. Some witches deliberately cultivate this smell by keeping cat urine and fish oils in their homes, believing it strengthens their connection to familiar spirits and sexual demons. They're literally marinating in the scent of spiritual corruption, and everyone around them breathes in that contamination. Smell number 3, acrid, burnt hair and feathers. The third witchcraft signature hits your nostrils like acid, the acrid stench of burnt hair mixed with burning feathers. This combination screams identity theft and spiritual monitoring. Someone is literally burning pieces of you to gain control over your destiny. Psalm 139:14 reminds us, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." When witches burn your hair and feathers, they're attacking the very essence of how God created you, trying to steal the identity He fearfully and wonderfully designed. Hair carries your DNA, your spiritual essence, your identity markers. Feathers represent spiritual flight, dreams, and prophetic gifting. When witches burn these together, they're trying to steal your identity while blocking your spiritual vision and prophetic downloads from heaven. This harsh, chemical-like burning smell appears before identity crises hit. You start questioning who you are, losing your sense of purpose, feeling disconnected from your calling. That's because someone is literally burning away your spiritual identity in ritual fires designed to create confusion. I've traced this smell to hidden altars, where witches had collected hair from drains, feathers from pillows, even nail clippings. They create voodoo dolls using these materials, then burn parts of them to send attacks against their targets. Each burning session releases more acrid smoke and intensifies the assignment. One woman kept smelling this in her home for months. Then she discovered her housekeeper was a practicing witch who had been collecting her hair and creating binding spells. Every time the woman felt confused or directionless, the witch was burning another piece of her identity. The acrid quality of this smoke is distinctive. It burns your nostrils and makes your eyes water immediately, not like normal burning hair from a curling iron. This smoke carries spiritual acid designed to corrode your sense of self and blind your spiritual vision. Witches often combine hair with specific feathers to target different aspects of your identity. Eagle feathers attack your authority and leadership. Owl feathers target your wisdom and discernment. Dove feathers corrupt your peace and purity. Each combination creates a unique spiritual assault. I've discovered witch altars, where hundreds of hair samples were stored in labeled jars, organized by the person's name, birthday, and specific curses assigned to them. The burning ceremonies happened on specific moon cycles to maximize the spiritual damage to their targets' identities. When you smell burnt hair and feathers, someone is cooking up your confusion. They're trying to cloud your vision and steal your sense of self. Declare that your identity is hidden with Christ in God. What they're burning is just protein and keratin, but who you are in Him cannot be touched. Smell number 4. Ozone electric spark. Smell. The fourth signature smell hits like lightning. That sharp, metallic ozone scent you smell right before electrical storms, but indoors, where there's no weather. This is the smell of high-level witchcraft opening portals and summoning powerful demonic entities. Ephesians 6:12 warns us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." This ozone smell announces that rulers and authorities from the dark world are being summoned into your space. Ozone indicates electrical activity in the atmosphere. When you smell this indoors around certain people, they're manipulating spiritual frequencies, opening dimensional doorways, calling down principalities and powers from the second heaven. They're literally changing the electrical charge of the spiritual atmosphere. This electrical burning smell appears before major spiritual attacks, before life-changing disasters, before territorial demons establish strongholds. The witch is literally changing the spiritual atmosphere to invite powerful entities into the natural realm, entities that normally require specific atmospheric conditions. I've smelled this in boardrooms right before major corporations made decisions that destroyed thousands of lives. I've detected it in churches before false prophets took over and led congregations into deception. It's the smell of supernatural interference in human affairs by high-ranking demonic entities. High-ranking witches who serve principalities carry this signature. They're not playing with local demons, they're summoning regional rulers, territorial spirits, cosmic powers. When you smell ozone around someone, you're dealing with serious spiritual firepower that operates on a governmental level. The metallic undertone indicates they're using technology, phones, computers, even electrical grids, to amplify their spells. They understand that modern witchcraft operates through digital frequencies, Wi-Fi signals, and electromagnetic fields. The ozone smell announces when these technological channels are being hijacked. Smell number 5. Rancid dairy, sour butter and spoiled cream. The fifth demonic signature turns your stomach instantly. The nauseating smell of rancid dairy, like sour butter mixed with spoiled cream that's been sitting in summer heat for weeks. This putrid combination announces prosperity witchcraft and financial cursing. Deuteronomy 8 verses 7 to 8 promises, "For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with brooks, streams and deep springs, a land with wheat and barley, vines and fig trees, pomegranates, olive oil and honey." The rancid dairy smell is a direct attack on this promise, turning the milk and honey of your promised land into curdled poison. Dairy represents abundance, nourishment, the fat of the land. When it goes rancid, it symbolizes blessings turned to curses, prosperity corrupted, abundance rotting from the inside out. Witches use spoiled dairy to curse businesses, investments, and financial breakthroughs, literally souring your sweet deals. This stomach-churning smell appears before financial disasters, before businesses mysteriously fail, before investments turn sour overnight. The witch is speaking to your money, commanding it to spoil and rot like curdled milk. They're literally cursing the cream of your labor to become rancid poison. I've detected this odor in offices right before major embezzlement was discovered, in homes before bankruptcy hit, around people who later lost everything through bad investments. The rancid dairy smell was announcing financial death weeks before it manifested in the natural realm. One businessman kept smelling this in his boardroom during important meetings. Every deal would start promising, then turn sour overnight. We discovered a disgruntled employee was hiding spoiled milk and butter in the ventilation system while cursing the company's profits during late-night ritual sessions. The cream specifically represents the best part, the richness, the blessing on top. When you smell spoiled cream around someone, they're targeting your greatest blessings, trying to turn your cream into curd, your abundance into scarcity. They want your sweetest deals to become your most bitter disappointments. Smell number 6, cloying perfume. Masking something foul. The sixth and most deceptive signature is the worst. Cloying, overwhelming perfume that can't quite mask something absolutely foul underneath. This is the Jezebel spirit's calling card, using beauty to hide death, seduction to cover corruption. 2 Corinthians 11:14 warns us, and no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. This perfume over foulness combination perfectly illustrates how the enemy disguises evil as good, corruption as beauty, death as life, making the repulsive smell attractive to your flesh. The perfume hits you first, sweet, floral, attractive, almost irresistible. But underneath lurks something putrid, something that makes your spirit recoil even while your flesh is drawn to the surface beauty. This is deception in its most dangerous form, evil wearing the mask of righteousness. This sickening combination appears around people who use their attractiveness to destroy others, false prophets who seduce congregations, business partners who smile while plotting your downfall, friends who befriend you to betray you. The perfume draws you in while the foulness announces their true spiritual condition. The foul undertone is the reality beneath the illusion. What looks beautiful is spiritually rotten. What seems attractive is demonically charged. What appears blessed is cursed at its core. Your nose detects what your eyes miss, the stench of spiritual death hidden under cosmetic beauty. I've smelled this around marriage destroyers, people who seduce spouses away from their families, around cult leaders who use charm to control followers, around politicians who smile while signing death warrants for the innocent. The more charming they appear, the fouler the undertone becomes. The perfume specifically targets your flesh, while the foul odor reveals the spiritual truth. When someone smells too good to be true, when their fragrance is overwhelming and cloying, check what's hiding underneath. Beauty can be the devil's most effective disguise, especially when it's trying too hard. Some Jezebel spirits deliberately use overwhelming perfume to mask their spiritual corruption, knowing that most people will focus on the pleasant surface scent rather than the putrid reality underneath. They understand that humans are easily deceived by what appeals to their flesh. Now that you know these signatures, you're armed with spiritual intelligence. Your nose has become a weapon.